Hey friends, Shay here. So I am here to open up another Volume 1 vlog. Y'all seem to love these. I've been saving them up for the last couple of months. And so here we go. I have way too many to introduce before we start this because we're going to be here a while regardless. So let's go ahead, dive right in, cue the beautiful B-roll from my date with Maeve.
Good morning, 다시 날이 밝아 당연하게 늦추어지진 않더라 Present is given 좀만 더 힘을 I'm here for you I let your day be Remember your blue You're not just a show
Alrighty, so let's talk about what I've read so far, which is quite a bit for this vlog. So, first up, I'm going to talk about the one that I do not physically own right now, and that is The Gay Who Turned Kaiju. So I sat and read all of this. I've had some friends who really loved it, called it sweet, and so I wanted to give it an honest try. I don't understand. This is full of homophobic slurs. This one is harmful to the gay community, in my opinion. It's assuming that, you know, if you don't get what you want when you're gay, you just want to kill yourself. And because you want to change yourself so much, you turn into a kaiju. Like, it's so harmful. And then the harmful stereotype that gays can't keep their hands to themselves was also very present. I mean, we've got a student groping a teacher, and yeah, it's really not okay. I didn't bring this into my collection for a reason. This is definitely not something that's okay, period, end of story. And I would never, ever, ever condone this. This is not okay. All right, let's move on to happier things, shall we? Okay, first up, I was able to snag the girl I forgot her glasses, and this is so cute. My battery's gonna die, hold on. Okay, so the girl I forgot her glasses. This is so cute. So it's about kids in school. The boy here has a crush on this girl who happens to sit next to him. He thinks her eyes are beautiful, and all of a sudden one day she shows up at class and she's forgotten her glasses because she lives right near the school. And so they start to get closer and closer with each time she forgets her glasses. And this is absolutely adorable. I really love and enjoy this. I was squealing and fangirling the whole time through. They are adorable. He does everything he can to help her. She's hilarious. I was laughing and giggling through this entire volume. If you liked something like Girl with These Sanpaku Eyes, this is definitely going to give you a similar vibe, but they're different enough that you don't feel like you're getting a repeat. So again, very, very cute. I absolutely adore it. Would 10 out of 10 recommend reading this one. Next on the list is Entangled with You, Garden of 100 Grasses. Now this is a boys love short story collection, really. So the first half is this Entangled with You story, featuring this beast-like man who lives in the forest and this young man. They meet when this young man is in the forest. His sister is ill, is about to die, and the beast man makes him promise to come and visit him. And the guy says, okay, I'll do whatever. And he's like, once my sister's grown, I'll come and spend all my time with you. You can have my soul. And the beast guy's like, okay. And when the sister's grown and married, he shows up to let the beast man take his soul. And the beast man says, I'm gonna let you go. I don't need your soul. I never needed your soul. I just wanted your company. And they form a beautiful friendship that develops into more from there. It is so beautiful. The art style in this particular one is absolutely lovely. And the other short stories are quite nice. I do wish they were longer just because I wanted more from all of them. And then you get one last story about these two at the end. And it's just really sweet. I really loved this. I'm definitely going to keep it in my collection. So if you like short, concise stories, this is definitely going to be a good collection for you. Next on the list is one that was surprising to me, and that is a Chinese fantasy, The Dragon King's Daughter. Now, I've not really heard many people talking about this at all, which surprises me because this was really, really good. The art style's a little more shonen than like a shoujo or a josei. Bolder lines, bigger action, and I just really enjoyed it. So it looks like this series is going to be a collection of Chinese fantasy stories, and it's beautiful. I'm really loving it so far. This first volume, you get the Dragon King's Daughter story, and then the last chapter is starting up the next story that we'll get in the next volume, which I'm very excited for. I love mythology. I love stories like this. So this one is a lot of fun. If you want to understand a world's culture, one of the best ways to do that is through their mythology. So this is fantastic. These are kind of like retellings, you could say, of different Chinese folktales, and it's beautiful. I really love it. I mean, look at the art here on the back. It's really, really good. I loved the whole thing through, and yes, this is one that I consumed much faster than I expected to, and yes, I'm definitely going to be continuing more of this one. The next one I have here is The Evil Secret Society of Cats. Now, this is really cute, but I don't know if I'm going to pick up anymore. Here's the reason why. So, one, these are fairly expensive volumes because they're full color. And the other reason is you get a repeat panel here at the top quite a bit. And so what I'm probably going to do is sit and read it in the bookstore. If that repeat panel kind of dies down, then I may continue to pick up more. But if that's a constant thing, I don't think I'm going to continue. I do recommend picking it up and reading it. I don't know that you need to purchase it, but this is a great like library checkout, or you know, sit at the bookstore, grab a drink, and read it kind of a thing. It's cute. I giggled. It's full of cat shenanigans and dogs who are trying to protect the humans from the cats. And it's just a lot of fun. I do think there's better cat manga out there. We'll probably read more in this vlog. But it's cute enough that it was worth a read. And I'm not necessarily going to get rid of this first volume, but I'm most likely not going to continue to collect anymore. Next up, I'm super excited to talk to you about this one because it's Yakuza Fiancé. Now, with this series, this is the same mangaka that does Haru's Curse, which y'all know how much I love Haru's Curse. This one is on a whole different level, but I'm super excited. So essentially, these two are currently in high school. Their grandfathers decide that they're going to get married to end the Yakuza war between the East and the West. And this is sprung on the girl. She has no idea. So she does go to Tokyo to meet the guy. And then she ends up moving out there, trying to make this work. And it does kind of for a while. And then the guy in this situation, the guy with the tattoo here, decides that he's bored with her. And so he lets his true self show. He's a sadist. And yeah, just kind of lets it all go, tells him he's bored with her. All she's worth is her body and she should go sell it. Anyways, she calls her grandfather, or her grandfather calls. They have a chat. And she's like, 1 year. Give it 1 year. Make that boy fall madly in love with you. And then you leave him to the side. That's how we're going to do this. And so she's like, okay. So she comes back and gives in to his sadist soul. So now he's obsessed with her and wants to marry her. And it's just the perfect amount of mess for me. Like, if you love things like Something's Wrong with Us, this will definitely appeal to you. I really enjoyed it. The art style is unique to this mangaka, Asuka Konishi. And so the eyes are a big thing that are very different for them. So it'll bother some people, I think, but not everybody. And it's going to be interesting. The last one that I have for this batch of reads is Shonen Note Boy Soprano. Now, this volume that is one, it's stunning. This is the same mangaka that does Our Dreams at Dusk, which I didn't know until like I sat down to read it. I didn't realize it was the same art. So there is some surrealism, not quite as much or as obvious as Our Dreams at Dusk, but we have this boy who wants to sing soprano. He has a beautiful, rich voice, and his voice hasn't transitioned yet. It hasn't dropped. It hasn't cracked. He hasn't gone through that yet. So he's this beautiful, rich soprano, and it's a very unique thing. But this boy also has sensory issues where he sees the world in music. And so he could get easily overwhelmed with sounds that are harsh. There's one point in here where he tries to stand up for himself and he says, "Shut up." And because it was so harsh and so loud, he actually was physically sick. So this is a very unique story. It's beautiful. I think it's doing a lot of really good things for gender stereotypes within music. I have lived similar moments. I was in a children's choir as a kid, and we were at a camp, and there was an older boy who was with us, but he sang soprano, and the person we were with had no idea. So they lowered the octave for him, but he showed them up and sang soprano anyway. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea." And so I've lived that moment from the side. And so to see this boy get revered for it, he has a teacher that wants him to join the local opera. There's lots of really cool things going on here. If you're a music nerd at all, definitely check this one out because it's beautiful. The art is absolutely stunning, and I love that he sees the world in music, and it's just so unique. And I cannot wait for more. So that's it for this batch of volume 1s. I do have a couple digital ones that I'm going to jump to next. And then I've got a pile also with me that I'm going to take with me to work. And we will see what we get read.
that shines in you. Fall, let it fall. Let all the chains that bind you fall. 거울 속에 널 들여다봐. Hey, 딴티란다, 딴티란다 춤을 춰봐. Yeah, 수고한 너에게 이 정도 여유 줄 수 있잖아. Hey, you know you deserve it. Let your day be. Remember you're blue. You're not just a show you're in. Oh, keep your good hair that shines in you. Fall, let it fall. Let all the chains that bind you fall. You know your worth.
Sometimes, so many possible things can hit you and make you forget who you are, how brave, and how strong you are.
Oh, you are. Just keep.
Hello again, friends. It's time for an update on this volume 1 vlog. You've been getting a lot of b-roll and not so much of me talking, but I'm just trying things out a little bit differently this time. So I have 3 digital volume 1s that I have not talked to you about yet. So let me briefly talk about those with you. So the first one I have is Helk Volume 1. This is an action adventure, I think shonen, about how a human has killed the Demon King, and now they're trying to find the new Demon King. And in the competition to be the Demon King, there is a human man named Helk who is trying to be the next Demon King. He apparently hates all humans, and he's very powerful, and the higher-ups in the demon realm don't know how to feel about Helk. And so they're trying to rig the competition to get him out early, but he seems to thrive in all of it. And so it's just a very interesting thing. So there's more to Hulk than there seems to be. This one is interesting. I think if it sounds interesting at all to you, it's worth picking up. I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the storytelling in it. And it's definitely a tournament arc to start out the story. So if you like a good tournament arc, this is definitely a good series to go with. The next one I have on this list is The Girl Who Can't Get a Girlfriend. The Girl Who Can't Get a Girlfriend is a autobiographical LGBT story about a woman who discovers that she is homosexual and her journeys in her romantic relationships in life. This is a 1-volume story. It's short, it's fun. For me, it doesn't feel original in any way, but if you don't know too much about... I read quite a bit about people who discover their queerness. So again, this one didn't offer a lot to me. But if you haven't explored that very much at all, this could give you a lot of insight into how someone feels and their inner struggles and such. It's not bad by any means, but I'm ready for some deeper LGBT stories than these biographies that we've been getting lately. The last digital arc that I have is My Special One, Volume 1. So this is about a girl who is anti-love. She... was burned pretty hard and pretty awfully in junior high when she confessed her feelings to a very popular guy. And so she's given up on love completely. And her friend wants her to get into this J-pop group, essentially. And she ends up interacting with one of the members of the band at her place of work. And they start to form a friendship and maybe a little bit more. He is bound and determined to make her a fan, but he also seems to have feelings for her because she doesn't fawn all over him like his fans do. So I'm really interested to see where this one's going to go. I'm really into it so far. If you don't like celebrity stories, this one's probably not going to be for you, but I had a great time. So let's get into the stack of physicals that I've got here. So first up, Oremiko. This is a really charming BL. It is very smutty. It was sealed for a reason. But essentially what happens is this man, this hunk of a man here, accidentally ends up taking in like a demon's essence, and that makes him an Oremiko. And so this demon hunter asks him to be his partner, and the only way he can replenish him is through bodily fluids. So through kissing, through sperm, all that kind of stuff. So it plays with the fluid trope pretty well. It is a little non-con in the beginning, but not to a point where I was uncomfortable. Maybe I've just come to expect it from BLs like this. I don't know. But I did have a great time with this one. If you're interested, I would pick it up. It was a good read. If you can borrow it from someone if you're worried, I would do that. Or maybe pick it up digitally because it wouldn't be as much as a physical copy usually. So there's that option. On the kickoff for Read What You Own sprints, I did read Usotoki Rhetoric Volume 1. In this one, we have this girl, and she has the ability to hear lies. And because of that, she was kind of ousted in her small village. Once she gets to the big city, she meets up with this detective, and the detective is like, oh, you can hear lies? You can make me better at my job. Let's go. And they team up, and it's really good. I really love the art. I love the storytelling. He clearly is a little bit into her. She's clearly a little bit into him. And so, yes, I'm a fan. I'm definitely going to be picking up more. And this takes place in the Showa era. So it's like 1920s-ish, if I remember correctly. That may be completely wrong. Do not quote me. But it does say Showa era on the back. But years-wise, it feels like 20s, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, would definitely recommend this one. The next on my list is Ex-Yakuza and Stray Kitten. This is adorable. I loved everything about this. The way the kitten reacts to our ex-Yakuza guy is perfect to me, and this ex-Yakuza guy clearly has more to him than you think, because he actually is in charge of an animal rescue. And so he ends up rescuing stray animals, and he now has this like cafe where it's an adoption cafe where people can come in, interact with the animals, get something to eat, and, you know, potentially adopt an animal. So really fun. I'm really loving this. I'm definitely going to be continuing. It's perfect cat manga for me. Next I have In the Land of Liatal. This is an isekai story in which we have a girl who's been terminally ill for a very long time, and she dove into the world of Liatal for a very long time. It seems like in the world of Liatal, hundreds of years have passed, and no one really uses magic anymore, and so she's kind of finding her footing in this world as she doesn't seem connected to her physical body at the moment. So we're just kind of having fun. It has a little bit of that. There's an arc in Sword Art Online called Mother's Rosario. It definitely has that kind of a feel to it. She's very powerful. I'm very excited to continue and read more. I like the art style quite a bit. I know this also has light novels. I'm not sure I'm going to double dip at this point. I think I'm just going to enjoy the manga as it is. But yes, I would definitely recommend picking this one up if you like video game style stories at all. 3 more, then we'll be done with this clip. The next one I have here is My Cute Little Kitten. In My Cute Little Kitten, we have these 2 friends who met in college. One has felt romantic feelings for her roommate for a very long time. And now that she finds a stray kitten and wants to adopt it and keep it, this friend finally says, I can't keep living with you. I am in love with you. I have romantic feelings for you. I want to have sex with you. And so that gives her roommate time to think about it, and it's how things go from there. I am really enjoying the course of the series so far. Nothing's feeling forced or pressured, and it's really done in a very sweet way. And I cannot wait for more of this one. This is a series I'm definitely going to be continuing, and I'm slightly obsessed. The next one I have here is I got fired as a court wizard, so now I'm moving to the country to become a magic teacher. So I'm just going to call this one Fired as a Court Wizard, just to shorten things. So essentially in this one, we have this man named Jade. Jade has done everything he can to raise through the ranks to be a court wizard. And once he gets to being a court wizard, because he's a country bumpkin, people have it out for him, and to defend a friend, he ends up getting fired as a court wizard. So he comes back and is now teaching at a magic school. At this magic school, he is purposely given the delinquent remedial class, as it's called, but they call it the dropout class because usually they don't make it beyond a year. And once he learns all these things about this class and he learns about the kids, he's very determined to help them move forward and progress and to get through the hardest parts of working with magic and to help people reach their dreams. So it's amazing. I'm really enjoying it. Definitely going to continue. This has been a really good batch of volume 1s for me. There's only been a couple of duds so far. But yes, definitely looking forward to more of this one. The last one I'm going to talk about here is my biggest and greatest obsession at the moment, and that is I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. This is so cute. This is a lot like Manly Appetites, which y'all know I loved and was obsessed with. But in this one, we have an actor who's a little on the chubby side and a man who works at a bakery who is an apprentice, but he intentionally makes baked goods just for our actor because he admires him in so many ways. And so they kind of empower each other through this, and our chubby guy ends up getting a lead. And as soon as this guy finds out, he's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And he's been leaving notes with his treats for our hero here. And it took him a while to figure out who was actually giving him the stuff, but like they are so sweet together. Like I love this. The slow burn angst of this particular one is so good. I'm loving it so much. This is going to definitely be that very slow burn situation going on, and I'm just obsessed. Like they are adorable. I love them both. Panjiro is our actor. And then Konosuke is the baker. And I just love them. I love them both so much. They must be protected at all costs. Like, they are everything to me. So yes, with that said, that's it for this clip. I have a handful more to read. We'll do one more clip and then we will wrap this vlog because, as I said, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. But hopefully this gives you lots of really good information. So, chat with you later. Hello friends, so it's time to wrap up this vlog. So I've got a little stack left to go over with you and then we'll wrap this up. So first up I have Our Torsos Align, Monsters and Human Love. This is a short story collection in which we have monster love manga, and all of them are wonderful. I really enjoyed each collection. I'm giving this one 4 stars in total, and I will definitely revisit this one. I had a great time with it. The art was fantastic. Not all stories end in happily ever afters. Some of them aren't meant to be, and it was just brilliant. I really loved everything about this. If you like the idea of a human and a monster together, I definitely recommend checking out this collection. The next one ended up being a little meh for me, and that is My Sister, the Cat. So essentially this human teenage boy is adopted by this cat family. So his sister is a cat, and then he has 2 parents who are a cat because he was an orphan. His family had all passed away and they pseudo-adopted him because the cat mom was friends with his mom. And the sister kind of has this overly weird obsession with her older brother. I mean, in the beginning, you think it's innocent enough, but it starts to get a little, like, possessive territory to me, and so I didn't love how that felt. So I will not be continuing on in this one. This is a cat manga I'm going to say no to in the future, and yes, so that's what's going on with My Sister, the Cat. Next is one that's just okay. I didn't really do much for me. I have other series where I feel like it's doing a similar thing better, and that is Penguin and House. So Penguin and House is essentially, it's like the masterful cat is depressed again today, just with a penguin instead of a big oversized cat. And of the two, I like the masterful cat better than Penguin and House. This one's just cute and charming, and it's definitely all ages friendly. So if you're looking for something you could read along with your kids, this one might be a better fit than Masterful Cat. But it kind of does that same thing for me, so I think I'm going to keep going with Masterful Cat and not continue on with this one. Another one that I don't think I'm going to continue with, I kind of left all the bummers towards the end, I guess. That is Yokai Cats. Yokai Cats is just fine. This is kind of like the evil secret society of cats for me, where it's just fine. It does some things a little bit repetitively. It's not necessarily bad or wrong or doing anything bad or wrong. It's just that when it comes to cat manga, it's just there. It's fine. The yokai element's a little fun. It adds something a little different to it, but not enough to keep me interested. So again, this is another one that I'm not going to be continuing to collect in. And yes, just know that it's there and it's not bad. If you like yokai and you like cats, it's going to be a great fit. But I wanted something else from it and didn't quite get that. So that's where I stand. Now let's talk to the winners from this session that I have left. The first one I'm going to talk about is Run Away With Me Girl. Now this is a female story in which these two girls met in school. They basically dated. They had kissed. Our dark-haired heroine has remained in love with Maki, our blonde, for all this time. And 10 years later, they end up running into each other, start talking, and Maki reveals that she's going to be getting married. And we meet the groom-to-be, and he is just really bad, toxic human level bad. like this can be triggering. There is an instance of domestic abuse within the volume, so I am putting that trigger out there for anyone that needs it. But essentially, this guy is a jerk. He's manipulative. He thinks women are easy and doesn't understand them at all, and is basically cheating on Maki with one of her really good friends from work. So he's toxic human really bad. And our brunette, Midori, saying to her at one point, let's just run away together. I don't think you're that happy with him. And is just trying to be there for her, even just as a friend, let alone a romantic partner. We'll see what they choose in the next volume, but I'm really looking forward to where this one's gonna go. I think I'm gonna love where it goes in the end. But for now, it's a really rough first volume, so just know that it's kind of a hard one, and there is definitely potential for much better in volume 2. The next one I have here is Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 1. So essentially, we have this girl who's been kind of the black sheep of her real-life family for a very long time, and she ends up somehow transported into this sim game, and she happens to be in hard mode where you have to play as the villain. And so she has to figure out how to not die in this world and to win the story, essentially. She beat it really easy on normal mode, but hard mode she was having a tough time with. And then there's an option to turn off like auto responses, and she starts to do that and things start to change and develop for her. So I'm really excited to see where this one goes in the long run. But yeah, I think it's going to be great, and there's a lot to come that I'm excited about for this one. The next one I have here is My Gently Raised Beast, Volume 1. This is another one that both of these technically were webcomics that have now been published as manga. And in this one, we have our heroine here. Her name is Blondina, which is awful. I believe that she chooses to go by Britty as like a nickname, because that's what her mom called her. Anyways, so her mom is dead. She's an orphan on the streets, and she goes in to pawn off this ring just to kind of survive on her own. And it ends up that she is the daughter of the emperor of the area, because she never knew her dad. And so he brings her in, and one day she is outside. She sees this black cat and sees it's injured, wants to heal it. The cat starts to talk to her because it's not just a cat. It's actually a man, a male, who can transform into a human. And so he is known as the Great Leopard. And there are specific stories about the Black Leopard that lead him to be very dangerous. And so he has claimed Britty as his own. And so it's really interesting to see how, as they're young, this changes and evolves. And I think they're going to grow up pretty quick in this one, because in the back of this volume, it shows images of them all grown up, and I'm really excited to get to that point. So now that we've kind of, because like, look at him, like, yes, give me all of that, please. And then she, all grown up, is also stunning. So anyways, I'm very excited for this one's going to go. There was one point where she accepted something that he did that was a little bit awful, that felt kind of weird. But outside of that, it was really good. I gave it 4 stars, and I will be continuing. So with that said, those are all of the volume 1s that I've collected and rounded up for a while. These right here on this list are going to be my I am not going to continues. And then I will be continuing everything else. I'm not sure. So once you've watched this video, you'll probably understand why these are my no-goes, but yes. And then everything else I will continue. So with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're here just because you love me, leave me a cat emoji down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's been raining for days now, been running like a child. Can't feel the cold, well I'm lost here with you, lost in the woods. Lost as I should.